Is Seventh-day Adventism a cult? It's a question that sparks heated debates across Christian circles. Some label the movement as a fringe sect, while others see it as a Bible-based denomination with unique teachings. To really understand, we need to dive deep into their origins, their beliefs, and how they differ from other Protestant groups. 1. The origins of Seventh-day Adventism. The story of the Seventh-day Adventist Church begins in the 19th century, during what was known as the Second Great Awakening in the United States. Around the 1830s and 1840s, a farmer-turned-preacher named William Miller predicted that Christ would return in 1844. When that day came and nothing happened, it became known as the Great Disappointment. But rather than collapsing, the movement reorganized. A small group of believers, convinced that prophecy had not failed but was misunderstood, re-examined the Bible. Among them was a young woman named Ellen G. White. She became a central figure, claiming to have visions that provided guidance for the new movement. In 1863, the Seventh-day Adventist Church was officially established. So, Adventism was born not from rejection of Christianity, but from a desire to return to what its founders saw as biblical truth. 2. Core beliefs of Seventh-day Adventists. Seventh-day Adventists hold many beliefs in common with other Protestant Christians, but they also emphasize distinct doctrines that set them apart. The Bible. Adventists uphold Scripture as the ultimate authority, just like other Protestants. The Sabbath. Perhaps their most well-known teaching is that Saturday, the seventh day of the week, is the true biblical Sabbath, a day of rest and worship, as opposed to Sunday, which most Christians observe. Second Coming. Adventists strongly emphasize the imminent return of Jesus Christ. In fact, the very name Adventist comes from this expectation. Health and lifestyle. Have you subscribed? Support us by doing so, and God will bless you. Adventists often promote vegetarian diets, avoidance of alcohol and tobacco, and holistic health. Many Adventist institutions operate hospitals and health programs around the world. State of the dead. Unlike many Protestants who believe souls go to heaven or hell immediately after death, Adventists teach soul sleep. The dead remain unconscious until the resurrection. The Investigative Judgment. A unique doctrine teaching that in 1844, Christ entered the heavenly sanctuary to begin a process of judgment, reviewing the lives of believers before his second coming. These teachings create a strong identity that separates Adventists from other Protestant traditions. 3. How Adventists differ from other Protestants. While they share belief in salvation through Jesus Christ, Adventists differ from other Protestants in three main areas. The Sabbath. Most Protestants worship on Sunday, but Adventists insist that keeping Saturday holy is part of God's eternal law. Prophetic authority. Ellen G. White is considered a prophet within the Church. While Adventists claim her writings are not equal to the Bible, they see her guidance as divinely inspired, something that raises questions for outsiders. Eschatology. Adventists have a very specific end-times framework. They warn against the union of church and state and identify Sunday laws as a future global test of loyalty to God. These distinctive elements make the Adventist worldview different from Lutherans, Baptists, Methodists, and other mainstream Protestant groups. 4. Is it a cult? So, is Seventh-day Adventism a cult? If by cult we mean a dangerous group that isolates its members, brainwashes followers, or denies Christ, then the answer is no. Adventists affirm the divinity of Jesus, the Trinity, salvation by grace through faith, and the authority of Scripture. However, critics sometimes use the word cult because of their exclusivity about the Sabbath, the central role of Ellen White, and their unique doctrines like the Investigative Judgment. these teachings can make Adventism seem outside the mainstream, even though the movement today has over 22 million members worldwide and operates thousands of schools, hospitals, and humanitarian organizations. In reality, most scholars classify Seventh-day Adventism as a distinct Christian denomination, not a cult. Seventh-day Adventism began in disappointment but grew into one of the fastest-spreading Protestant movements. Its emphasis on health, education, and Christ's return has touched millions of lives. But its unique teachings continue to spark debate. So maybe the real question isn't, is it a cult? But rather, what does it mean to follow Christ faithfully? For Adventists, that means worshiping on the seventh day, awaiting His soon return, and living with both discipline and hope. What do you think? Is Seventh-day Adventism a cult, or simply a unique branch of Christianity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.